Hello and welcome to this ultimate home automation course using Arduino Uno board. Throughout the course, we are going to learn how to create smart gadgets using Arduino Uno and integrate it with our Python code. We are going to create not one or two smart gadgets but 25 plus smart gadgets throughout the course. It will be totally practical and hands-on experience throughout the course, and you will learn everything from very basics to an advanced level by building different smart gadgets throughout the course with the help of our Arduino Uno board. You will learn how to control your normal devices and appliances using sensors, computer or laptop, Telegram bot, and at last but not the least using J.A.R.V.I.S AI assistant with voice command. And the end result of this course will be the ultimate home automation that we will be able to create by converting our normal devices or appliances into smart devices and integrating them with IoT, using which we will be able to control our devices with the help of the Internet of Things. So now you don't need to spend money on expensive smart devices. With the help of this course, you will learn how to create your own smart devices. I am Arbaz Khan and I will be your instructor throughout the course. I have more than 5 years of experience in Python, IoT and robotics, and I have built over 500 plus projects with the help of them. I am teaching on Udemy from last 2 years, and in the span of 2 years, I have 2 bestseller courses on the platform, and I hope you will be learning a lot from this course. And let me show you the end result of this course by introducing you to the J.A.R.V.I.S AI assistant.
Hello, I'm J.A.R.V.I.S 2.0, an advanced artificial intelligence assistant developed using Python programming language, machine learning, natural language processing and neural networks, integrated with IoT and robotics. Created by Arbaz Khan. In this course you are going to learn to create an advanced artificial intelligence assistant using Python programming, machine learning and natural language processing. Let me show you some of my features that I'm capable of.
Hello J.A.R.V.I.S.
Hello sir, J.A.R.V.I.S at your service. Please tell me, how can I help you?
J.A.R.V.I.S, initiate the drone in selfie mode.
Okay sir, initiating drone in selfie mode.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am J.A.R.V.I.S, a virtual artificial intelligence, and I'm here to assist you with a variety of tasks as best I can, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Importing all preferences from home interface. Systems are now fully operational.
J.A.R.V.I.S, turn on lamp.
Okay sir, turning on lamp.
J.A.R.V.I.S, turn off lamp.
Okay sir, turning off lamp.
J.A.R.V.I.S, turn on the AC.
Okay sir, turning on the AC with temperature 20 degrees Celsius.
Turn on the lights, J.A.R.V.I.S.
Okay sir, turning on the lights.
Turn off lights, J.A.R.V.I.S.
Okay sir, turning off the lights.
J.A.R.V.I.S, turn on the wipers.
Okay sir, turning on the wiper.
Jarvis, open the left window.
Okay, sir, opening the left window.
Jarvis, close the left window.
Okay, sir, closing the left window.
Jarvis, play some songs.
Okay, sir, opening the playlist.
Jarvis, how is the weather?
Sir, the temperature in the car is 25 degrees Celsius.
Jarvis, how much fuel do I have?
Sir, the fuel is around 12 liters. We can go 171 kilometers now.
I hope you liked it what you saw. Then what are you waiting? Click on that enroll button now and get started with the course to create your own advanced personalized AI assistant. Okay, I need to go. Mr. Khan is back. Love you 3000.
This is a free demo of the full course which is available on udemy.com. You can check the link in the description using which you can get 90% discount on this course. So if you are interested in such content, you can click on that subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get notified whenever I post new videos, and also leave a like on this video. So let's get started with the course. So in this session of the course, we are going to be setting up our development environment for our JARVIS AI assistant. So for that, we need two pieces of software. First one is Python and another one is the VS Code IDE. So you can download this Python from the resources section of this video. So after that, you just need to click on download, and after downloading, you just need to install it onto your system. And this VS Code IDE, you can get it from the link which will be available in the description of this video. So you can just click on that description link and it will take you to this website, which is the VS Code website. So after downloading these both pieces of software, we just need to click, first of all, we need to install a Python. And the Python version is 3.6.2 because this version works better with this AI assistant, and it supports all the packages that are required. Some of the packages are not supported by the latest version of Python, and it creates a lot of error. So to avoid that, we are going to be using this Python version 3.6.2 and we're going to be installing it. So I will double click on it and it will start the installer first, and here we are going to be selecting this add Python 3.62 path. So keep in mind that you select this thing, otherwise you have to manually set the path by going into the environment variables. So to avoid that, you just need to select add Python 3.62 path, and after that we are going to be clicking on customize installation, and here we need to select everything. So here you can see all the things are selected by default, and we will click on next, and here we are going to be selecting for install for all users. And after that, we are going to be clicking on install, and it will ask for the administrator permission. Then we will click on yes, and it will start installing this software, which is the Python IDE onto our system. So let this thing get installed, and after that we are going to be installing the VS Code IDE onto our system. So now this Python version is successfully installed onto our system. As you can see, setup was successful and it has installed onto our system. So now what we will do is we will just click on this close button, and after that, to check whether it is successfully installed or not, we will just click on here and we will type CMD, and in that CMD we will type Python. So it should open a Python interpreter here. So you can see that the Python interpreter is available now. So it means it has installed Python onto our system. So we will try to print something. So we will try to print. Hello. This is JARVIS. And if I hit enter, so it should print this thing. So as you can see that it is working. So it means it has installed Python successfully onto our system. So Python commands are working. So we will just type exit, and after that we are going to be installing the VS Code IDE onto our system. So for that we will just double click on this exe file after downloading, and we will click on next, and we will click on I accept the agreement, and we will click on next, and we will click on next again, and we will click on next, and again we will click on next, and it will ask us to add additional icons on desktop. So we will check this box and we will click on next, and we will hit on install, and it will start installing this piece of software onto your system. Once it is successfully installed, you should be able to see an option. Once the VS Code IDE is successfully installed, we can just right click and you can see that there is an option of open with code. So I have already installed VS Code IDE onto my system, and if I right click in this folder and click on open with code, so it should open the VS Code IDE inside this folder. So as you guys can see, here's the VS Code IDE that it has opened. So after that, we need to install few pieces of software onto this. So we will click on this extension icon, and we're going to be typing here Python. So we are going to be installing the Python extension for VS Code IDE. So it will help us to, using this extension, we can add a lot of features into it. So using that, we can select the different versions of Python which we have installed onto our system, and it also shows a recommendation for the upcoming words and all that things. So there are a lot of features into this Python extension. So for me, I have already installed it. So if you will just search on the extension Python, so it will tell us to install, and you just need to click on install. It will take few minutes, and after that it will install onto your system. After that, you just need to restart the IDE, and it should work now, and it should be installed onto your system successfully. Now after that, we need to create a new file. So first of all, we will click on a new file, and we will save this file with the name JARVIS 2.0.py, and after that we will just try to check whether the extension is successfully installed or not onto our system. So we will try to print something. We will type print, and in this print function we will type hello, this is JARVIS 2.0, and after that you can just try to select if you have different versions of Python. So you can just click on here and you can select different from the different versions which you have already installed onto your system. So right now I have only one Python version installed onto my system, which is the Python version 3.6.2, which is a 64-bit. So if I install another version of Python, so I will be able to select from there. So here is a drop down menu for that. I will try to zoom in the screen, and you can see that here is our line of code which we have written. I will just try to save the code, and if I run the code, so it should print hello, this is JARVIS onto our terminal. So let's just try to run it. So as you guys can see, here is the output of our code. So it means we have successfully set up our development environment for the JARVIS AI assistant. So that was it for this section. If you are getting any kind of errors or issues while installing the Python or VS Code IDE onto your system, you can just drop your questions in the Q&A session. So I will try to answer it as soon as possible. So that was it for this session. Let's move to the next session of this course. So in the previous session of the course, we have set up our development environment, and we have installed Python as well as VS Code IDE onto our system for making our JARVIS AI assistant. So finally, in this session of the course, we are going to be starting making our AI assistant from very basics. So first of all, we need to install a package which is PyTTSX3, which means Python text to speech version 3. So this piece of package, what it will do is it will help us to convert the text data into speech. So I will just open the documentation of this module or this library, which is PyTTSX3. So you can see that here is how we can install it. So we just need to type pip install PyTTSX3, and there are a lot of features into this library. So you can go through this page or through this documentation and try to add your own features into the JARVIS AI assistant. So I will be focusing on my version, and you can add, or you can go through this documentation and add your own features as well. So for now, first of all, we will just copy this command from here, which is pip install PyTTSX3, and I will just minimize the window. And if I just type this command here and just hit enter, so it should tell us that it is already installed. and requirement already satisfied. So I have already installed it onto my system. And if you get any kind of error while installing this library, so what you need to do is sometimes VS Code IDE is unable to install the libraries onto your system because it doesn't have the administrator permissions to access the files. So for that, what you need to do is you just need to click on start menu and you just need to search CMD and you just need to open it as an administrator, and it will ask for the administrator permission. You just need to click yes, and it will open the command prompt as administrator. You just need to paste the piece of line which we have copied from here. I will just copy this command, and if I paste it in the administrator terminal, so and I will hit enter, so it will install it by the administrator permission. So it will not create any kind of errors or any kind of file permission errors for you. So it will install the PyTT-SX3 module onto your system. Once that is installed, we are going to be importing that module. So I will just remove this piece of code from here, and I will just close this window. I will zoom a little bit, and I will just import PyTT-SX3, and I will add a comment also. To install this, we need to type pip install PyTT-SX3, and what this module will do is it will convert our text data into speech using Python. So this is basically a package which somebody has written, and using this we can convert our text data into speech. So for doing that, first of all, we need to add few lines of code. So first of all, we will create a variable named engine. So we'll type engine equals to PyTT-SX3 dot init. So what it will do is it will call the initial function of this library, which is PyTT-SX3, and after that we will go into the next line and we will type engine dot say, and using this function we can type any kind of string inside this function, and so it will convert the string into an audio. So if I try to type here hello, this is JARVIS 2.0, and in the next line I will type engine dot run and wait. So in this function you can see that the run R is small and waits W and A are capital. So if you will type in the same manner, so it will run the code. So just keep in mind that A and W are capital in this word, which is run and wait. So if I save the code and if I try to run it, so it should tell us hello, this is JARVIS 2.0. So let me just try to run the code and see the output of it.
Hello, this is JARVIS 2.0.
So as you guys can see, we have converted our text data into speech using Python. So we have given the input using here, which is the engine.say function. We have entered our input, which is hello, this is JARVIS 2.0. If I change this piece of code, so it will change the output also. So if I just hello, this is a test of text to speech, and if I just try to save it and if I try to run it again, so you should be able to see the changes.
Hello, this is a test of text to speech.
Okay, I think I have typed this twice, so I will just remove that, and if I save that, so it should be working perfectly.
Hello, this is a test of text to speech.
So as you guys can see, whatever we type inside this engine.say function, it will convert it to speech. So using this text to speech library, our JARVIS AI assistant will be able to communicate with us. So basically what we are going to be doing is we are going to be adding the text what we want our JARVIS AI assistant to tell us whenever we run a specific function. So it will convert the text which we have entered in the code into speech using this engine.say function. So that was it for this video. In the next video, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be creating a speak function using which we are going to be taking an input from the user through command line, and we are going to be converting it into speech using this engine.say. So let's move to the next video of this course. So in the previous video, we have created this piece of code that can convert the text inside this engine.say function into speech using Python. So if I just try to run the code and show you the output of it, so it should convert hello, this is a test of text to speech into speak. So it will convert this text into speech using Python. So if I just try to run the code and show you the output of it.
Hello, this is a test of text to speech.
So as you guys can see, it is able to convert the text input into speech using Python. So now what we are going to be doing is we are going to be creating a function, and using that function we are going to be taking the input from the user and we are going to be converting it into speech. So for that, first of all, we just need to remove this line of input from here, and after this engine.pytts63.init method, we are going to be creating a function which we will name it as speak. Inside this speak function, we are going to be passing an argument which will be an audio. So we will type audio and we are going to create it as a function, and we are going to be adding indentation in both of these lines, which is engine.say and engine.run and wait. So after that, we are going to be passing the audio variable which we are getting through this function into this engine.say. And after that, what we can do is we can create another variable outside this function. What we are going to be doing is we are going to be creating a variable named audio equals to input, and inside this input we are going to be typing something like enter the text to convert it into speech. So using which we can just convert this entered text into speech using Python. So after that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be calling this function, which is our speak function, in the next line, and just type speak, and inside this we're going to be passing our audio. So it should convert the input through our command line into speech. If I save this program and if I try to run it, so it should ask us enter the text to convert it into speech in our command line, and whatever we type, it will convert it into speech. If I run it, so as you guys can see, it is asking us to enter the text to convert it into speech. So if I just type here hello world.
Hello world.
So it can get the input from the user, and whatever we type in the command line, it will convert it into speech. And inside our code, if before audio we can add a while loop, so it will run again and again. If I just try and add while true, and inside this while loop we are going to be running these two pieces of code which is taking the input from the user. I will just add indentation over here, and if I try to save it and we try to run it again, so it will run it again and again. So if we just type 1 2 3 4
1234,
and it will ask us again for some input. So if I type here hello JARVIS,
hello JARVIS,
so it will take the input from the user again and again, whatever we want. And we can also add a /n here, so it looks better. So if I just add /n, so it will ask the input in the next line. So you can see here that
text to speech. Python is best.
So as you can see that we have created an application that we can enter any kind of text and it will convert it into speech using Python. So that was it for this session. In the next session, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be adding another feature into our AI assistant, using which we can get the voices from the user So for example, if you want your Jarvis AI assistant voice to be in the male or female version, using the user input, we are going to be changing that voices using Python. So without further ado, let's move to the next session of this course. So in the previous video of the course, we have created this program using which the user can give the input through the command line in the form of text, and it will convert the text into speech using our speak function which we have created. So if I save this code and if we try to run the code, so it will ask us to enter the text to convert it into speech. So if I type here hello world, so it will convert this text into speech.
Hello world.
So this is how the code works. So in this video, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be adding another feature into our Jarvis AI assistant, using which the user can give the input to the program and it will change the voices of the Jarvis to male or female version. So for that, first of all, I will just close this terminal, and after the speak function, we are going to be adding another function which will be the get voices function. So I will just type here def get voices, and inside this function, first of all, we're going to be creating a variable which will be voices equals to engine dot get property, and inside that we're going to be passing voices. And after that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a print function here, and inside that print function we're going to be typing voices at index 0 dot id. So it will print the id of this voice which is available at index 0, and after that we will comment out this good while loop, and at the end of the program we're going to be calling this get voices function and brackets, and if we save the code and if we try to run it, so it should tell us the name of the voices which are available. So if I just zoom up a little bit, so you can see here is the name of the voice which is available at the index 0, which is David, which we are using currently, which is the male voice. And if I just change the index of this voices to 1, and if we save the code and if we try to run it again, so it should now tell us the other voice which is available at index 1, which is the Zira, which is a female voice. So now what we are going to be doing is we are going to be taking the input for these voices to be changed from the user. So to take the input from the user for changing the voices, we are going to be passing our argument inside this get voices function, and after that we are going to be just commenting out this line which is the print line, and we're going to be adding an if statement. We're going to be checking for this voice which we are getting from the argument, and if it is equals to 1 at that time, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be setting the voice to male voice. So we will do engine dot set property, and we're going to be doing it for voice, and we will do voices at index 0 dot id. So it will change the voice and set it to the male voice, and we will just copy this same code in the next line. So I will just, and it will set the voices to the male voice, and we will just copy these 2 lines in the next line, and we are going to be setting the same for the female voice, but the input will be 2 here now, and we will set the voices to be at index 1, so it will change to the female voice. And after that we are going to be calling another function which will be a speak function to test whether it is able to change the voices perfectly or not. So we will add some kind of string here. So we will add hello, this is JARVIS, and we need to create the voice variable. So for that I will just uncomment these 2 lines, which is the while loop and the audio input one, and I will just change the variable name to voice, and after that we're going to be converting it into the integer format, because by default the Python takes the input in the form of string, and we are working here with integer values, which is 1 and 2. So for that we have converted the voice into an integer format, and we are taking the input from the user. And I will just replace this string with press 1 for male voice and /n, and we will type press 2 for female voice, and we will add another /n here, and we're going to be calling our function inside here in this while loop. So we will just add indentation, and we are going to be passing the voice inside this function, and we will save this code. And if we try to run the code, so it will ask us to press 1 for male voice and press 2 for female voice, and after we give it an input, so it should change the voices and tell us hello, this is Jarvis, first in the male voice and second time in the female voice. So if we run the code, so it will ask us for the input, and if I type here 1, so it should tell us hello, this is Jarvis in male voice.
Hello, this is Jarvis.
And if I give it an input 2, so it should now speak in female voice.
Hello, this is Jarvis.
So this is how we can add the functionality of get voices and change the voices of the Jarvis AI system to male to female. So using this get voices function, we can do that. So that was it for this session. So let's move to the next session of the course. So in the previous video, we have created this function, which is the get voices function, using which we can change our voices of the Jarvis AI assistant to male to female. So if I save the code and if I try to run it, so it will ask us to press 1 for male voice and press 2 for female voice. So if I press 1 and hit enter, so it should tell us this is Jarvis in the form of male voice.
Hello, this is Jarvis.
And if I press 2, so it will tell us this is Jarvis in female voice.
Hello, this is Jarvis.
So this is how this code works. So in this session, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be adding the date and time functionality into our Jarvis AI assistant. So for that, first of all, I will just close this terminal. And after this get voices function, we are going to be creating another function, which will be the time function. So before that, we need to import something. So we are going to be importing a library, which is the date time library, and it is a built-in library. So we don't need to install anything for that. So we are going to be importing date time, and so we will name this function as time. And inside this function, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be creating a variable with name time, which is equals to date time dot date time dot now, and we are going to be giving it as a format. So we will type strf time, so it will convert the time in the format which we will specify here inside this string. So for hour, we need to type %i, so it will get us the current hour, and I think it should be in the double quotes. I will just add double quotes, and I will add a percentage symbol and a capital I. After that, we will add a colon. We will add percentage symbol again, and this time we are going to be adding M, which is for minutes, and we are going to be again adding a colon and percentage symbol with capital S. So it means the seconds. So for getting the hour, the variable is I. So I will add a comment here. And hour is equals to capital I, and minutes equals to capital N, and seconds equals to capital S. So using these variables, we can get a time in the form which we want. So we have added the time in this form, which we will get in the form of, first we will get the hour variable, and then we will get the minutes, and then at the end we will get the seconds. And after that, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be adding the speed function, and inside the speed function we will add the time variable inside this. So it will speak the time, current time. What we will do is we will select this piece of code and we will comment out that, and we will try to call our time function and see if we are getting the current time or not. So if we save this code and if we try to run it, so it should tell us a current time, which is 11:23.
12 hours 23 minutes and 57 seconds.
So as you guys can see, it is able to give us the output in the form of time. So now what I want is I want to add another speed function inside this time function, and we will add a string in the form of such as the current time is. So it should first speak the current time is, and after that it should give us the current time. So it looks much better. So if we save the code and if we try to run it again,
The current time is 12 hours 24 minutes and 43 seconds.
so now the output is much better than the last one, in which it was just speaking the time. Now it is speaking the current time is, and whatever the time is, it is getting from this date time module. So that was it for this video. Let's move to the next video, in which we are going to be adding the date function, using which we are going to be getting the current date. So let's move to the next video of this course. So in the previous video, we have added this feature of getting the current time using our time function which we have created, and we are using the date time library for getting the time. So if I save this code and if I try to run it, so it should tell us the current time.
The current time is 2 hours 35 minutes and 15 seconds.
So as you guys can see, it is able to tell us the current time using the time function which we have created. So in this video, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be creating another function using which we are going to be getting the current date. So for that, I will add few spaces after the time function, and I will create another function with def date. And inside this function, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be creating a variable named year, and inside that we are going to be adding int, and inside this int we are going to be adding datetime dot now. Now is a function, so we will add brackets and we will do dot year. So what it will do is it will get the current year and convert it into an integer and save it inside this year variable. So if I just copy this line of code and we will just paste it in the next line again, and we'll do it twice, and we will just change the year with month to get the current month, and we will rename this variable as month. And in the next line we will do date, and we will replace dot now date. So it will get us the current date. And if we want our AI assistant to speak the current date, so we need to call again the speak functions. So first of all, I want my AI assistant to speak the current date, then the month, so we add month, and at the end I want it to speak the year, so we add year. And if we just save the code and at the end we just comment the time function call, we will call the date function, and we will save the code, and if I run it, so it should tell us the current date. So let's just try it.
16/1/2021.
So as you guys can see, it is able to give us the current date with in the format of date, month and year. We will add another speak function inside this date function. So we will add the current date is, and we will save the code and we will try to run it again. So now it will first tell us the current date is, and after that it will speak the date. So let's just try that.
The current date is 16/1/2021.
So as you guys can see, it is looking much better than before. It was just telling us the date. Now it is telling us the current date, and after that it is giving the date. So this is a much better format. So that was it for this video. In the next video, we are going to be creating a wish me function using which the JARVIS AI assistant will wish whenever we will run the code. So initially we are going to be calling this wish me function using which the JARVIS AI assistant will be able to wish us. So without further ado, let's move to the next session of this course. So in the previous video, we have added these two features, which is getting the current date and the current time using the functions which we have created, which is the time function and the date function. And in that we are using the datetime module or the datetime library, which is a built-in library for Python to work with date and time. So if I just try to save this program and if I run this code, so I will just uncomment this time function call, and if I run it, so it will tell us the current time and the current date.
The current time is 2 hours 40 minutes and 50 seconds. The current date is 16/1/2021.
So here is the output of this features that we have added. So in this video, what we are going to be doing is basically we are going to be creating another function which will be a wish me function, and we are going to be calling this wish me function whenever we start our program. So for example, whenever we start our JARVIS AI assistant, which is JARVIS 2.0, so first of all, initially it will call this function which will be the wish me function. So for that, I will just remove these function calls from here, and after the date function, we are going to be creating another function which will be the wish me function. So we will type wish me, and inside this function, first of all, we will add an speak function, and we want our JARVIS AI assistant to tell us a sentence which will be welcome back, sir. And after that, in the next line, it should tell us the current time. So we'll call the time function which we have already created, and after that I want it to speak the current date. So I will add the date function here, and at the end of it I will add another speak function, and I want the JARVIS AI assistant to tell me that JARVIS at your service, please tell me how can I help you. So I will just type that. So I will type JARVIS at your service, please tell me how can I help you. So you can add any kind of sentence in here. You can even change this piece of line and add your own phrase. So if I save this code, and at the end of this program, if I just call this wish me function, and if we save this, so first of all, what it should do is it should speak welcome back, sir, and after that it should give us the current time and date, and after that it should tell us JARVIS at your service, please tell me how can I help you. So it is more interactive with the user, and it is basically asking us a question, so we can reply to it and give it a command to perform some kind of operation. So we have added this line for that. So we will save the code, and if I try to run it, so it should work now.
Welcome back, sir. The current time is 2 hours 44 minutes and 10 seconds. The current date is 16/1/2021. JARVIS at your service, please tell me how can I help you.
And that was it for this video. In the next video, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be creating another function which will be the greeting function, using which the JARVIS AI assistant will be able to greet us according to the timings. So if it is morning, so it will tell us good morning, sir. If it is afternoon, so it will tell us good afternoon, sir. If it is good evening, so it will tell us good evening, sir. So accordingly it will act based on the timings. So without further ado, let's move to the next video of this course. So in the previous video of the course, we have added this wish me function using which the JARVIS AI assistant is able to interact with the user. So in that function, first of all, we have called the speak function. In that we have added a text which is welcome back sir. After that we have called the time function which will give us the current time. And after that we have called the date function using which we are getting the current date. We have added another speak function which tells JARVIS at your service, please tell me how can I help you. So it makes the JARVIS AI assistant more interactive with the user, and it is asking the question so we can tell it anything, so it will perform that task for us. So if I save this code and if I try to run it, so you can see the output of it.
Welcome back, sir. The current time is 3 hours 7 minutes and 56 seconds. The current date is 16/1/2021. JARVIS at your service, please tell me how can I help you.
So as you guys can see, it is working perfectly and it seems more interactive with the user. So now what we are going to be doing is we will just close this terminal and we will create another function using which the JARVIS AI assistant will be able to wish us according to the daytime. So for example, if it is morning, so it will tell us good morning sir. If it is afternoon, so it will tell us good afternoon sir. And if it is evening, so it will tell us good evening sir. Or else if it is night, so it will tell us good night sir. So for that, first of all, we will just create another function. So I will name it as greeting. Greeting function, and inside this greeting function we will create a variable name hour which will be equals to date time dot date time dot now, and we will add brackets and we will add dot hour. So it will give us the current hour and it will store it inside this hour variable using which we are going to be performing or using some if else statement to identify which hour is currently and what should it speak according to that. So we are going to be adding an if statement and we will do if hour is greater than equals to 6, which is morning 6 a.m. and at the same time the hour should be less than 12. So it means afternoon 12 p.m. So if the time is between this period, so we want our JARVIS AI assistant to greet us as good morning sir. So we will add here. So inside the speak function, we want our JARVIS AI assistant to tell us good morning sir. And in the next line we will add an else statement using which we can again compare this hour variable, and we will do hour is greater than equals to 12 this time, and which is 12 p.m. and at the same time the hour should be less than 18, which is 6 p.m. So if the hour is between that, so we want our AI assistant to speak good afternoon sir. Good afternoon sir, and again we will add another else statement, and inside this else statement we will again compare this hour variable which will be greater than equals to 18, and at the same time the hour should be less than 24, which is at night 12 a.m. So if the hour variable is between 18, which is 6 p.m. to 12 a.m., it will tell us good evening sir. So we will add the speak function and we will add good evening sir. And we will add an else statement for telling us good night. So we will add an else speak good Okay, so after that, if we save this code, and currently the time is around 3 p.m. so it should tell us good afternoon, sir. And if I save the code, and we will just call this function, which is the greeting function inside our wish me function after the date, and we will call it as greeting. And if we save the code and if we try to run it, so it should tell us good afternoon, sir. So let's just try it once and see if it is working or not.
Welcome back, sir. The current time is 3 hours 13 minutes and 11 seconds. The current date is 16/1/2021. Good afternoon, sir. Jarvis at your service. Please tell me how can I help you?
So as you guys can see, it is able to tell us good afternoon, sir, according to the timings, and it will be greeting us according to the time. So if we run the code in the morning, whenever we run this code, so it will tell us good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening according to the daytime. So it makes the J.A.R.V.I.S AI assistant more interactive with the user, and user can feel that it is able to greet us according to the daytime, and it's like a real person who is wishing us. So this is how we can add the greeting function into our J.A.R.V.I.S AI assistant. So that was it for this session. So let's move to the next session of this course. So in the previous session of the course, we have added this function, which is the wish me function, using which the J.A.R.V.I.S AI assistant is able to interact with the user. So in this wish me function, first of all, we have added a speak function that tells welcome back, sir. So it will speak welcome back, sir, whenever we run this code. So we are going to be calling this wish me function at the starting of our program. So whenever we start our J.A.R.V.I.S AI assistant, so it will tell us welcome back, sir. Then we have called a time function, which we have created to get the current time. And after that, we have called the date function, which we have created to get the current date. And there is another function which we have created in the previous session, which was the greeting function, using which the J.A.R.V.I.S AI assistant will be able to greet us according to the daytime. So if it is afternoon, morning or evening, so it will greet us according to the daytime. And we have added another speak function, that is Jarvis at your service, please tell me how can I help you. So it feels more interactive with the user, and basically it is asking a question. So whenever we run this code, so we can tell it any kind of command, and it will try to perform that. So if I save this code and if I try to run it, so you can see the output of it. And right now it is afternoon, so it should tell us good afternoon, sir, using the greeting function. So let's just try it once.
Welcome back, sir. The current time is 1 hour 5 minutes and 34 seconds. The current date is 23/1/2021. Good afternoon, sir. Jarvis at your service. Please tell me how can I help you?
So as you guys can see, it is working perfectly, and it is able to tell us good afternoon, sir, and whatever we have added in this wish me function. So you can see that the J.A.R.V.I.S AI assistant is able to interact with the user, but the communication is one way, and we are not able to give it any kind of command to perform any kind of operation. So for that, in this session, we are going to be creating another function, using which the user can give it the command through the command line using a function. So for that, first of all, I will just close this terminal, and we are going to be creating another function after this wish me function call. So I will just comment out this wish me function call from here, and we are going to be creating a function which will be def take command CMD. So it will be taking the command from this command line, and inside this function we are going to be creating a variable named query. So we will name it as query equals to input, and inside this input we are going to be telling our user, please tell me how can I help you. I'll just copy it from here, and I will paste it inside this input function. And after this, we are going to be returning the query. So we will return query, and after that we are going to be creating another function which will be the main function. So I will do if underscore name underscore equals to underscore main, and again 2 times underscore, and we will add a colon after it. So this is basically the syntax to write a main function in Python. And inside this main function, we are going to be calling the wishme function. So whenever we run the code for the first time, so it will initially call this wishme function, and the JARVIS AI assistant will be able to wish us. And after that, we are going to be creating a while loop. So we will do while true. We're going to be performing certain operation that will be taking the command from the user. So we will create a variable named query again, and which will be equals to take command CMD, and we are going to be calling this function, and we'll do dot lower. So it will convert the input from this function into lowercase. So we are going to be creating a bunch of if and elif statement in that we're going to be checking for the query. So if the command contains uppercase and lowercase letters, so we are going to be dealing with that. So for that, we are going to be converting all the letters into lowercase and performing the operations accordingly. And after that, we are going to be creating our first if statement, and in that we are going to be typing inside this if time in query. So if someone types the word time inside a query, so we are going to be calling the time function, which will get the user the current time, and we're going to be adding another elif statement inside here, and we're going to be calling for the date function. So inside this, we will do elif date in query. At that time, we are going to be calling the date function. So for testing purpose, I have added this two function calls in this if statement. So I will just add some spaces in between here, and as you guys can see here, and if I save the program and if we try to run it, so first of all, it will call the wishme function. After that, it will tell the user to enter something. So it will tell us, please tell me how can I help you on the command line, and we can enter the query inside the command line, and after that it will try to perform operations accordingly. So let's just try it. If we save the code and if we try to run it, so let's see the output of it.
Welcome back, sir. The current time is 1 hour 13 minutes and 2 seconds. The current date is 23/1/2021. Good afternoon, sir. Jarvis at your service. Please tell me how can I help you?
And as you guys can see here, it is asking us a question. Please tell me how can I help you. So I will ask, what is the date today?
The current date is 23/1/2021.
So as you guys can see, it is able to answer my question, which is what is the date today. So it is able to give us the output accordingly. And I will just try to close the program right now, and we will just add a /n after this question. So I will add /n here, and if I save the code again, and we will try to run it again.
Welcome back, sir. The current time is 1 hour 14 minutes and 1 second. The current date is 23/1/2021. Good afternoon, sir. Jarvis at your service. Please tell me how can I help you?
So this time we will ask it what is the current time. So we'll type what is the time now.
The current time is 1 hour 14 minutes and 27 seconds.
So as you guys can see, it is able to give us the output according to the command which we are giving it through the command line. So this is how the code works. So in the next video of this session, we are going to be adding the feature into our JARVIS AI assistant to take the command from the microphone of the user. So without further ado, let's move to the next video of this course. In this video of the course, we are going to be discussing about all the hardware components that are required for this ultimate home automation course using Arduino Uno board, and a PDF format of all these components is available to download in the description or the resources section of this video. So you can go there and download that PDF file. You will find all the images of the components that we are using, as well as the appropriate serial number and name of that component that we are using in this course. and you can also find the Amazon link using which you can refer that exact product and try to purchase it by visiting that link. So if you have any issues or doubts regarding the components, so you can just leave it in the Q&A session and I will try to help you out with that as soon as possible. So first of all, we are going to be needing an Arduino Uno board. So you can see on the screen, this is the Arduino Uno board that we are going to be using throughout the course to control all the hardware components with the help of this microcontroller. And you can see it has multiple pins on it, and you can see there are in total 13 digital pins on this Arduino Uno, as well as there are 6 analog pins on this Arduino board. And there is also some ports using which we can connect the power as well as ground with this Arduino board. So let me keep it aside. After the Arduino board, we also need a breadboard. So you can see this is the breadboard which we are going to be using, and using this we can extend the connection from our Arduino board onto this breadboard and connect the multiple pins with single input which is coming from our Arduino board. So for example, you can see that there is only one 5V on the Arduino board. So if you want to extend that, we can extend using this breadboard. So this is also very important, and it will make our process of creating circuits very easy with the help of this breadboard. So I will just keep it aside. And after that, we are going to be needing some jumper wires. So you can see these are the jumper wires that we are going to be needing, and mostly we need male to male and male to female jumper wires. So I will recommend you to get an entire combo of this jumper wires and the breadboard, and you can find that on Amazon easily, and the combo is very cheap. So you will get all these jumper cables and the breadboard. And one of the most important component, that will be our relay module, using which we are going to be controlling all the hardware components that will be connected to our relay module. So using it, we are going to be controlling all the hardware components like light, fan and other devices using it with the help of this relay module and the Arduino board. So this is a 5V relay. You can find it easily on Amazon, and you can see it is a 4-channel relay, so you can connect up to 4 devices. There are different configuration of this relay module. It comes up to 32 relays on a single board, and you can get a 32 relay module and control up to 32 devices using the Arduino board. So let me put it aside. After the relay module, the next component that we are going to be needing will be a bulb holder like this. You can see this is a bulb holder using which we can connect this bulb with the holder, and we can connect 2 wires with it, and these 2 wires can be connected to our relay module. So this is a very simple bulb holder that you can find in any electrical shop. So I'll just keep it aside. After that, we are also going to be needing a bulb. So this is the bulb which I am going to be using. This is a 9V bulb that we are going to be connecting with this bulb holder and trying to control in our course. So I will just keep that aside. Another component that we are going to be needing will be a two-way switch. So using this, we can control the relay module with the help of this two-way switch. So basically, we are going to be connecting this bulb with this relay module as well as this two-way switch. So it will be also able to control through the two-way switch and also the relay module. So this is also required. So let me put it aside. So the other component that we are going to be needing will be a socket. You can see this is the socket that we are going to be using, and we are going to be converting it into a smart socket in our course. So that's why we're going to be needing this socket, and we will be able to control the devices that are connected to this socket using our Arduino board. So let me put it aside. We are also going to be needing this LEDs. So you can see these are multicolor LEDs like red and green. So we are going to be needing that as well. So we are going to be also trying to blend these LEDs and control them with the help of our Arduino in our basics. So you can get multiple color LEDs. I will recommend you to get around 5 to 10 LEDs of this kind. You can see that they have 2 inputs, 5V and ground. So I will just put it aside. We are also going to be needing a LDR sensor. So you can see on the screen, this is the LDR sensor. So you can see on the screen, this is the LDR sensor which I am talking about. So you can find the links in the PDF as well. So I will just keep it aside. Also, for connecting this LDR sensor, we are also going to be requiring some resistors. So you can just check out the PDF for the details about this register. And after that, we are also going to be needing a addressable RGB LED strip. So you can see this is the addressable RGB LED strip that I'm going to be using. You can find it on Amazon easily, and the details about it is given in the PDF. So you can just go there, and you can see there are in total 3 pins on this LED strip. The first one is 5 volt, the middle one is the digital pin, and the third one is the ground. So using this addressable RGB strip, we are going to be controlling it with our Arduino board. So let me put it aside. And after that, we're going to be needing some sensors. So this one is the ultrasonic sensor, using which we can calculate the distance. And also we're going to be needing a PIR sensor, which stands for passive infrared sensor. So using it, we can sense the motion with the help of this sensor. So you can see there are in total 3 pins on it as well. And the last component that we're going to be needing will be a temperature sensor, using which we can get the temperature as well as the humidity of the room with the help of this THT11 sensor. And you can find all the links as well as the references to all these components in the PDF that is available in the resources section of this video. So you can just go there and try to get all these components with you. And also you're going to be needing some wires with this kind of plugs. So you can find out the appropriate plug for your country and just purchase them. And you are also going to be needing some wires to connect with this plug. And we are going to be powering up all the components using this wires and connectors. So you can just purchase them according to your country. So these were all the hardware components that are required for this course. So I will recommend you to purchase all these components first and then start with the course, because if you don't have any of this component, you won't be able to complete the entire course. So I will recommend you to get all these components by going on to Amazon or eBay and purchasing all these components as soon as possible. And once you receive the components, you can start with the course. And if you have any doubts or issues related to any of the components, so you can just leave them in the Q&A session of the course, and I will try to help you out with that. So that was it for this component introduction video. Let's move to the next video of this course. In this video, we will take a look at Python in under 120 seconds. Let's get started with it. Python is a high-level interpreted multi-purpose programming language. It is one of the most popular programming language in the world because of its beginner-friendly syntax and ease of use. In fact, you are watching this video on a Python web application. It was created by Kyoto and Rawson and released in year 1991. It is widely used in server-side applications using Django framework. Aside from Django, Flask is also used for small projects, and it is a language of choice for artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science. It can be also used as an scripting language as well as for automation. By the way, a course on ultimate automation using Python is coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. Many students choose Python to start learning to code because of its readability and simple syntax similar to English language. The most recent version of Python is Python 3. Also, there is another version which is Python 2, although it's not being updated anymore. So there might be a question in your mind that why should you learn Python? Tech giants like Google, Facebook, Instagram, Netflix are using Python for development and hiring for Python developers, and the salary of a Python developer ranges between $80,000 and goes up to $110,000. So isn't it exciting? Let's try comparing Python with other programming languages. C uses 5 lines of code to print hello world, C++ uses 6 lines of code to print hello world, and Java uses 7 lines of code to print just hello world. But Python only uses 1 line of code by just typing print, and we also don't need to compile the code. We can directly run the code with the help of the interpreter. So if you are interested in learning Python with practical and hands-on experience, I will be leaving some links in the description of this video so you can check it out. And that was it for the Python in under 120 seconds, and I tried to give you a brief overview of Python, and that was it for the video. I will see you in the next one. So in this video of the course, we are going to be setting up our development environment for our course. So for that, we need to install Python and VS Code onto our system. So for that, I will just open an browser, and I will just search for Python on Google, and you will find this first result that will be python.org website. So we will click on this first link and it will redirect us to this website, which is python.org, and this is the official website of Python, and you can find all the documentation as well as the latest version of Python. You can download the exe file or any other files that are required, and you can also find the documentation for the Python as well. So on this website we will hover over this download section, and we're going to be downloading this latest version of Python on our system. So we will just click on it and it will start downloading it on our system. So once the download is finished, we're going to be installing it on our system. And the another piece of software that is required is called VS Code. So I will just type here VS Code and we will search for it, and you will get the first result as download Visual Studio Code. We will click on it and we're going to be downloading it for our Windows system. It is available for Linux as well as Mac, so you can download the appropriate version for your system. So I'm using Windows system, so I will just click on download and it will start downloading this VS Code onto my system, and we will go on to this website. So basically the Visual Studio Code is a code editor that has an inbuilt functionality of running the code of different programming languages, and it supports different extension as well for different programming languages. So for example, if you're working with different programming languages like Python, C++, or any other language, so it has the support for Visual Studio Code using the extensions that it has in the extension market. You can just download it and they are totally for free. So it is really helpful for developers to work on different programming languages through a single code editor or IDE. So once these both softwares are downloaded, we will go in the Explorer and we're going to be installing these both software one by one. So first of all, we will install the Python. So for installing Python, we will just double click on this exe file and we will see these options are there, and we just need to check this box which says add Python 3.9 to path. Otherwise it will show errors while you are running the Python code and it will not recognize Python as an command. So you just need to select this box, otherwise it will give you errors. And once that is done, we are going to be clicking on customize installation and it will take you to the next page and it shows optional features, and we will not change anything here. We will click on next, and in advanced option we are going to be selecting install for all users. So if you have multiple users on your system, so it will install it for all users, so you can use Python for them as well. So once that is done, we will click on install and it will ask for administrator permissions. We will click on yes and it will start installing it on our system. So it will take few minutes to install it on our system, and once that is done, we will just open the CMD and we will try to run the Python command and see if the Python is successfully installed on our system or not. So it is installing this packages and documentation of Python on our system. It will take only few seconds for me because I have an SSD installed on my system. If you are using an HDD drive or an hard drive, it will take longer time for you, and I will recommend you to use SSD for your software development purposes, as it speeds up the process of installing and doing other things on your system. So let it get installed. I will be back once the installation process is finished. So finally the setup is completed. It took me like 1 minute to install this Python on my system, and you can see setup was successful, and we will just click on this close button. And to check whether the Python is successfully installed or not, we will just click on this address bar and we will just type here CMD, and it will open the command prompt inside this folder, and we will just type here Python to see whether Python is successfully installed or not. So you can see Python 3.9.4 is available on our system, so we can try printing out something. We will try print and we can print out testing Python 3.9, and if I hit enter, so it will print out this line for us. So it means the Python is successfully installed on our system. So we will just exit out of this Python interpreter, and after that we will just go back and we are going to be installing the VS Code IDE onto our system. So I will just double click on this exe file of VS Code, and I will just click on accept. I accept the agreement. I will just click on next. I will select this create a desktop icon, and I will click on next, and it will ask me to install. I will just click on install, and it will start installing this piece of software on my system. And once that is installed, we can just right click, and we will be able to see this option of open with code. If I just click on it, so it will open a Visual Studio Code window inside that folder, which is our Python folder. And you can see if you want to create a new file or something like that, so just need to click on a new file, and we can just save it with a Python extension. But before that, we need to install the extension for the Python. So for that, I will just click on this extensions, and here we will just type Python, and you will get this first result of the Python extension. So I have already installed it on my system. You just need to click on install, and it will start installing it on your system. And once that is done, we can start writing the code for Python on our system. So I will just close all these things, and I will just try to create a new file with the name test.py, and inside that file I will just write a print statement. So I will just try to print out something using this file and check whether the Python is working properly or not. So I will just type here hello world, and you can see that it is asking me to select the Python interpreter which I want to use. So I have installed multiple Python version on my system, so I have 2 versions of Python installed. So if you have only one version of Python, it will ask you to select that. So I will just select the recent version that we have installed, which is Python 3.9.4. and after selecting that, it is now selected, you can see here. And I will just try to minimize this thing, and I will just zoom in a little bit, and I will just close this thing. And if I just click on this run button, so it will start running the code for us, and you can see hello world is printed out on our terminal. So it means the Python is successfully installed on our system. So that was it for setting up our development environment, and we have installed Python as well as the VS Code successfully. So without further ado, let's move to the next video of this course. In this video of the course, we will take a look at how we can install the Arduino IDE onto our system. So for that, first of all, we will open our preferred browser, and in the Google, we will just search for Arduino IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. So after searching that, you will find this first result that will be the software Arduino. So basically the Arduino is a software as well as an hardware company. So it also provides us with the software that we need to create the programs for the Arduino board. So we will just click on this first link in here, and it will redirect us to the download page of the Arduino IDE. So after coming here, you can see Arduino IDE 1.8.90, which is the latest version of this Arduino IDE. So now we want to install it on our Windows system. So we will just click on Win 7 and newer. If you are using Linux or Mac, you can just select the appropriate operating system from here. So I will just click on Windows, and it will redirect us to this page where we can support the Arduino IDE and contribute some amount to this open source project, which is Arduino IDE. So if you want to contribute some amount, you can select the amount from here and click on contribute and download. But for now, we will just click on just download. So it will download the Arduino IDE on our system for free. So you can see. So after that, we will open it in an Explorer and double click on it. So it will launch the application for the installation process. So you can see on the screen, this is a license agreement for the Arduino software. So now we will just click on I agree. And after that, we will just click on next. Next. And it will install it onto our system, and it will take few minutes to install it. So it depends on your system speed, how much time it will take to install it on your system. So it is extracting all the files and setting it up on our system. So basically our Arduino code will be a combination of C and C++ code, and using which we will be able to control our Arduino board. So we are going to be using a combination of C and C++ code to write the programs for our Arduino board. As well as further in the course, we will try to integrate this C and C++ code with our Python code and try to control it with the help of our Python code as well. So once the installation process is finished, it will ask us with this prompt to install the drivers. So we will just click on install and it will install that drivers for us. These drivers are required to connect our Arduino board with our computer. So we will just click on install and again we will just click on install. It will ask us to install a USB software and we will install all of them by clicking on install, and you can see finally it has installed the Arduino IDE software onto our system successfully. We will just click on close, and as you can see on the desktop we have got the icon of the Arduino software. So we will just double click on it and it will open the Arduino IDE for us. It will take few seconds to open the Arduino IDE onto our system. And we will just click on allow access for the internet. And we have successfully installed the Arduino IDE onto our system. So as you guys can see on the screen, this is the basic sketch that we get pre-written by our Arduino IDE. So basically in Arduino, the programs are called as sketch. So we have this sketch in here. So finally we have installed the Arduino IDE successfully onto our system. So if you have any doubts or issues regarding it, you can leave them in the Q&A session of the course. So that was it for this video. Let's move to the next video of this course. In this section of the course, we are going to be starting with our first project that will be blinking the inbuilt LED on the Arduino board for 1 second. So for that, first of all, we will connect our Arduino board with our computer. And once we are done with it, we will open our Arduino IDE and we will open a new file by clicking on this new file, and we will get a code like this, or we will get this kind of new file in which there is a pre-written code which is void setup and void loop. These are two functions. We will discuss it about later. So after that, we will just click on tools and we will select our Arduino board. In our case, we are using the Arduino Uno, so I will just select that and I will click again on tools and I will select the port as well. So in the port, you can see our Arduino Uno is connected to the COM4. I will just select that and we are connected with our Arduino. So as soon as I will click on this upload button, it will upload the code to our Arduino and there will be no errors shown to us. So whenever you connect an Arduino board with your computer, you just need to go through this process of connecting it with the COM port and selecting the board name. So if you are using any other board, you can just select the name from this list. So once that is done, we are going to be starting with writing the code. So you can see here is a function called void setup. So void setup, inside here, whatever we will write, it will run only once. And in the void loop, the name itself suggests that it will repeat the task or it will run a loop inside the code that we will be writing inside this void loop function. So for now, let's start writing the code. So inside the void setup, we are going to be defining the LED, which is a built-in LED. So for that, I will just type here pin mode. And the M will be capital as the Arduino IDE uses camel case. So we will just type pin mode with the capital M, and inside here we will just type LED underscore built-in, and we are going to be providing another parameter that will be as output, because this LED will be our output. And if you want to take an input from a sensor, you just need to type input in the pin mode. So once that is done, we will just add a semicolon at the end of this line and we will move forward in the void loop and we will try to write the code for blinking the LED. So in here we will just type digital. As we are sending the digital signal, we will just type digital write, and the W will be capital for the write. And inside here we will be just typing LED underscore built-in, and we will add a comma and type here hi. So it will turn on the LED for us, and we will add a semicolon in here and it will be providing a data as 1. So I will just try to add a comment in here and I will just type it will send data as 1 to turn on the LED. And in the next line we will just add a delay. So we want to blink the light, so we will just turn this LED light on for 1 second. So I will just add here 100 milliseconds. This time is in milliseconds, so 1000 milliseconds will be equals to 1 second. So in the next line we will again type digital write and in here we're going to be providing LED underscore built in, and now we will set it to low and the low will be capital, and in here we are going to be adding a semicolon at the end of this line, and we will add the command as well. So it will be sending data as 0 to turn off the LED, and at the end of it we will just add another delay of 1 second. I will just type in here and I will provide 1000 in here and I will add a semicolon. And once we are done with it, we will just try to save this code by typing Ctrl+S, and we will just name it as, I will just try to select our folder in here. So here is a folder that I have created, and I will just type here link underscore built-in. And once we have saved the code, we will just try to compile it and verify it. So we will just click on this verify button, and it will try to compile our code and see if there is any errors or not. So you can see here the compilation is done compiling. Now once we are done with that, we will just click on this upload button and upload this code on our Arduino to see the output of it. So let's just wait. And you can see on the Arduino the orange light is blinking, turning on and off every 1 second. So this is how you can blink the built-in LED on the Arduino board. So this was a starter project and we tried to understand how this code works. So if you have any doubts regarding it, you can leave them in the Q&A section and I will try to help you out with that. So that was it for this session. Let's move to the next video of the course. So in the previous video of the course, we have seen how we can blink the built-in LED on the Arduino board with the help of this code which we have created in our previous video. So in this video, what we will do is we will try to blink the LED, which is an external LED, using our code. So for that, first of all, we will try to connect the LED light with our Arduino board. So first of all, what we will do is we will connect the LED with the pin 13 of our Arduino board and see the output of it. So if I will connect the positive end with the 13 and the negative end with the ground, and as you guys can see, the LED has started blinking. So this is because the built-in LED is directly connected to our pin number 13 and it gives the output to that pin number 13. So that's why our red LED is blinking. So now what we will do is we will remove the LED from pin 13 and we will insert the positive end to the pin 12 of the Arduino board. And once we are done, we will move towards our code. So we will click on files and we will create a new file. And in here, what we will do is, first of all, in the void setup, before the void setup, we will first of all initialize the pin number that we are going to be using. So here we will define int LED equals to 12. So basically we are defining the pin number that we are going to be using. So it is in form of integer value and the pin 12 is defined here. It is defined in the form of integer value, and it is the pin 12 that we are going to be using to blink the LED and send the digital signal using the pin 12. So we will go in the void setup part and we will type here pin mode, and the M will be capital, and in here we will just provide LED, and we will add a comma and type output, and the output will be in capital. Just do all caps here, and we will just close the bracket and add a semicolon at the end of it. And now in the previous video we have already written the code for the void loop. So in here what we will do is we will just try to replicate that code. So I will just minimize it and we will try to copy it from here, this part of code, and we will just paste it in there. And in here we will just change the values of the LED to the small LED. Here we have written LED underscore built-in. We'll just replace it with LED, small LED, that we have defined here, you can see. And we will do the same here. Now what we will do is we will just try to save the code, and we will name it as LED underscore blink, and we will save it. And after saving it, we will just try to verify the code by clicking on the verify button, and it will try to compile our code, and you can see it has compiled our code successfully. We will just see what error we will get if we remove one of the semicolons from here. So I will just remove this semicolon, and we will try to save the code and again verify it, and you can see that it is showing us an error here. So just keep in mind that you don't miss any semicolons at the end of that line. So we will just add that here back, and we will try to verify it again, and you can see it has compiled it successfully. We will just try to click on the upload button and see the output on our Arduino board. And as you guys can see, the LED has started blinking, and we have successfully blinked an external LED. So in the next video we will try to blink a series of LED lights one by one. So we will be using 3 LED lights and we will blink them one by one. So let's move to the next video of this course. So in the previous video we have seen how we can blink this LED light with the digital pin 12. So in this video we will take a look at how we can blink a series of LEDs, which will be 3 LEDs one by one every second. So what we will do is we will use a breadboard and a jumper wire to connect the LEDs with our Arduino board. So here is the breadboard that we are going to be using. So you can see it has different ports where we can connect the GPIO pins, and we will just remove this LED from the Arduino board. So what we will do is we will just connect this LEDs with our breadboard. So what I will do is I will just connect it in this format. I will just insert the negative end. The negative end is connected here, which will be providing the ground, and here is the digital pin that will be providing the digital signal. So we will connect the jumper wire in here, and one jumper wire will be connected to this series of ground connections that we will be needing. So I have connected one white LED. I will connect a green LED in the same format in here. I have attached it now. You can see 2 LEDs are connected, and I will connect a red LED as well in the same format. Now once we are done with that, we will connect an orange wire with this ground connection, and we will insert it in the ground connection of our Arduino board, and there will be 3 different color wires. I will attach here. I will connect it with the red wire with the red LED in this format. You can see it is connected next to the positive end of the LED, so it will send the digital signal. I will connect the green cable as well here. The green one will be connected to the positive end of the green LED, and I will connect the gray one to the white LED. And once we are done with the connection, we will just connect it with our Arduino board one by one. So we will connect the red LED to the pin 13, green LED to the pin 12, and the white LED to the pin 11. So let's do the connections. And the orange wire will go into the ground. First of all, I will connect the ground wire. The second one will be the red wire will go into the pin 13. The green will go in onto the pin 12 on the Arduino board. It started blinking as we have connected, and we have already uploaded the code for blinking the LED on the pin 12. Now we will connect the last LED on the pin 11. So here you can see how they are connected. So once we are done with it, we will move towards our code. So in the Arduino IDE, what we will do is we will create a new file in here, and we will just try to copy this entire code in there, in that new file that we have created. And we will just paste this code in here, and we will try to edit that code. So first of all, what we will do is we will just add the name of the LEDs in here. So I will type int LED underscore red equals to 13. The pin 12 one is the green LED, and we will define the white LED as well. That will be equals to pin 11. And we will just set the pin mode for all these pins. So I will just copy this code thrice here, and we will just add the name of the LEDs here. So I will just add it underscore red underscore green, and at the end we'll add the white one here. And after that, we just need to start writing the code here. So previously we have tried to blink the one LED at a time. So now what we want to do is we want to blink the turn on the first LED and turn off that LED. Then the second LED should turn on, and the third LED should turn on once the second LED is off. So for that, I will just replicate this code 2 times more. And here we will just change the name of that LEDs. So I will just hide here red underscore red, and then first of all it will turn on the red LED, and it will turn off the red LED. Once that is done, it will turn on the green LED. So we'll just add here green. We'll do the same here. We want to turn off that LED, and we want to turn on the white LED then after every 1 second, and this loop should go on infinitely. So I think this code should work. So we will just try to save this code. So we will just save this code with a name as multiple underscore LED underscore blink, and we will save this code, and we will verify the code by clicking on the verify button, and it should compile the code, and you can see there are no errors. So it means we have not missed any kind of syntax error. So let's just try to upload the code and see the output on our Arduino. So as you guys can see, our LEDs have started blinking, and you can see it on the output screen that our program is working perfectly fine, and it is blinking each LED one by one after every second. So this is how you can blink multiple LEDs in a series one by one for 1 second each. So if you have any doubts or issues regarding it, you can leave them in the Q&A session of the course, and I will be happy to help you out with that. So that was it for this session. Let's move to the next section of this course. Hello and welcome to this course in which you're going to be learning about how you can create your own advanced virtual assistant JARVIS using Python programming language. I am Arbaz Khan and I will be your instructor throughout the course. My previous course on Learn to Create AI Assistant JARVIS with Python has over 41,000 plus enrollments, and it is one of the best selling course on Udemy platform. And in this course you are going to be learning about how you can create an advanced version of the previous virtual assistant JARVIS. It will be similar from Marvel's Iron Man movie in that character Tony Stark has this virtual assistant called JARVIS, and we are going to be recreating that in the real world. Not only that, we are going to be creating the other virtual assistant as well, which is called Friday. So after JARVIS turned into Vision, so Tony Stark created this virtual assistant called Friday. So not only you are going to be learning about JARVIS virtual assistant, but also learning about how you can create your own Friday assistant as well. So I hope you are excited for this course. So without further ado, let's get started with the course. This video is just a demo of the full course which is available on Udemy platform. The link for the course will be available in the description. So if you are interested in the full course, you can click on the link which is available in the description and check out the course page on Udemy. And if you are interested, then you can enroll in the full course for adding all the features into your virtual assistant. If you are interested in similar content, so please drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. So without further ado, let's get started with the course.